To my channel. I am the Eva Monroe. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel today. So today I thought that it would be fun for me to share some of my cheap isms with you guys, because I am always telling you guys how I'm a queen that's balling on a budget and I'm cheap, and people still ask me, well, how do you have so many fragrances and how do you have so many shoes? But I'm going to share with you guys 8 things that I have cut out of my life over the past few years that have helped me save so much money. It is utterly ridiculous. So this is not, disclaimer, this is not a dig on anybody who provides these services. These are just services that I do not utilize on a consistent basis. So let's go. Now, the very first cheapism of the queens, the very first thing I stopped doing is going to the nail shop. I stopped going to the nail shop every week or bi-weekly or however often I used to go. I used to go in the nail shop. Sometimes I would go once a week. Sometimes I would go bi-weekly. And I would spend $45 to $75 every time I went, depending on the treatment. The nail mani-pedi, wax treatment, the foot massage, you name it. 3 to 4 hours out of my day. Things were just so chaotic in there. I didn't stop going initially because of money, but it just made so much sense. So kids were running amok. People were talking about me in a language I didn't understand. Well, I don't know if they were talking about me, but I couldn't understand them. And I was always concerned about getting a fungus. I was like, man, am I going to get, and I know it sounds petty, but I know people that this has happened to. So I was always like, I know they hated me because I'm like, hey, I didn't see you clean that. Whose feet were in it? Did you wash that off? Did you disinfect that? So I started doing my nails at home, and I realized it was the greatest thing that I ever decided to do. I get my foot spa out, soak my feet, give me a glass of wine. I'm drinking my wine, filing, probably got some good music playing in the background. My nails have never been more healthy than they are right now. I don't have ridges in them. They're not peeling. They're not cracking. They're growing like they should be. So it was the greatest decision that I ever made. So I stopped going to the nail shop. Again, no dig on the nail techs. It just ain't for me. I ain't about that life no more. Now, the next thing that the queen does is I do at-home facials. I love to do at-home facials. Now, when it comes to the rough stuff, ladies, don't be doing chemical peels and things like that at home. Go to an esthetician, go to the professionals for that. But like masks, I have a drawer full of these clay masks, sheet masks, my microdermablation stuff, all of that. I do that at home. Facial steams, ice treatment. I do it at home, and it's as relaxing for me as doing my fingernails, and I save a ton of money, not only on my car insurance, but on my facials. So there you go. Now, the third thing pertaining to at home or pertaining to self-care is I do my own hair. I used to be a once a week beauty shop girl, and I had relaxed hair. So about 3 years ago, I got off work on a Friday. I went to Sally's. I got a set of clippers, and then I went to the wine store and I got the best bottle of wine. After I drank the bottle of wine, I peeled off my relaxed hair. I shaved it all off. It was long, but it was very unhealthy because it was relaxed. It was colored. It was so unhealthy. So I decided to go natural. And when I went natural, I started doing my own hair. I would get on YouTube and look up tutorials and things about how to do my own hair. So I saved so much money doing my own hair. So now sometimes I can blow a bag on a good wig because I love a good wig. So I save money by doing my own hair. Now, the next thing that I cut out my life, here's a cheapism of mine. I stopped going to Starbucks every day. I used to have a $10 a day Starbucks habit. So 5 work days in a week, 20 work days in a month. How many work days in a year? $10. I go in there, get my little Starbucks and my little biscuit and go sashaying into my office like I'm somebody. And then when I thought about the money, I was like, oh my goodness. So we go to Sam's and we get a big old giant can of Folgers coffee. And the first thing that happens in this house in the morning when we wake up is we brew a pot of coffee. And for about 30 cents a day, I can drink the whole damn pot if that's what I want to do. Fill up my thermal on the way out the door and I'm living my best life. So I saved a ton of money by just not going to Starbucks every day. Now, the next thing that the queen does, or the queen stopped doing actually, is handbags. I had a very serious handbag addiction, and sometimes you have to sit down and you have to be real with yourself about what you're into and what you're really not into. Because when I was real with myself, I realized that I'm not really into handbags like that. And I change my bag like I change my clothes. Actually, I change it when I change my clothes. Let's be clear about that. So I stopped buying lots of luxury handbags. Now, I have realized that I'm perfectly fine with these little numbers right here. This is a Target, I think. $20 bag, you know. Now, sometimes Target bags can get a little pricey, but this is like a really cheap bag, a grab and go type bag. A friend of mine sent me a video a couple weeks ago, and it was by a judge, the lady judge. I can't think of her name, but it was called Don't Be a Pipeline Chick. We got a great laugh out of it because I was like, ooh, I'll be out here pipelining. But it's really not funny once I thought about it. And what a pipeline chick is it's a woman who doesn't have a whole lot of money, and she gets money from her employer. This is going to be the pipeline. And she takes the money when she gets it and she shoots it straight down the pipeline into the hands of an individual who has way more money than she has and way more money than her employer has. Somebody who's filthy rich. Example, Mr. Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors, Gucci. And once I thought about that, I was like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. So I'm working on my pipelining. I really am, because, you know, life is all about learning how to do better and then doing better. So, but yeah, I'm not. I said in a live video that I'm the type of person now that will take, if I had $400 or $500 to buy a handbag, I would buy a $20 handbag and I would put $480 cash in it. Then I might spend $300 of it putting something on that shelf over there, but we all have a vice, right? So another thing I recommend is that if you are into handbags, don't spend $250 and $300 on dupes, because what is the return on investment for a dupe? Nothing. So if you're going to spend your money like that, I always think about what's the return on investment. I love watches. Watches, they don't, oftentimes, most of the time, they don't depreciate, you know, so think about the return on investment. You can't resell a dupe typically. You can, but for little money. So think about that. Now, the next thing that the queen does, one of my cheap isms, is I always shop out of season. I never shop in season. Sometimes I shop 4 or 5 seasons out of season. I'm cheap like that. I heard a saying once. It says, fashion is what is available to you on the racks, and style is what you do with it. So, what difference does it make if this shirt is 4 seasons old? If I style it up right, you will never be able to tell. So I'm not an overly trendy person anyway. And if I see items that come out, like a pair of boots I saw, they came out in October, I'm going to get those boots in like April, or I'm going to get them next season when they're season old. So there are some things that, you know, don't go on sale when they're out of season. Louboutin, if anybody could tell me, like, where do Louboutins go when they're out of season or when they're out of style? Because Louboutin never has a sale. They never have a sale. But anyway, I always shop out of season. I do that with fragrances as well. Like when fragrances are just released, unless I can get a tester bottle or something like that, I will never typically buy it right when it comes out. Probably 2 or 3 times I've done that. Typically, I will wait because people are going to run out. They're going to buy it. Someone's going to decide they don't like it, and they're going to put it up on Poshmark or on Swap. And then I'm going to come swooping in like a thief in the night and get a deal. So the queen always shops out of season. Now, the next thing that the queen does, the cheapism of mine, is I believe in coupons. I love coupons. I love coupons. I love point programs, store cash, whatever. But I have to tell you guys some things about these programs, because these programs are not designed for the consumer to win. They are designed to bring you back into the store so that you will spend more of your hard-earned money than you spent the last time you came in. So you have to be smarter than these marketing people out there. If you go to Kohl's and you spend $100, it should only be on things you need, and you get $20 in Kohl's cash because you get $10 for every $50 you spend. When you go back in Kohl's to spend your $20 in Kohl's cash, don't spend $100 because then you're not winning. So I have a rule. I try not to go no more than $20 over what I got. And you can best believe when I go in there, I'm going to have a 30% off coupon or a $10 off coupon, something, because I'm going to win. And with Ulta, I make sure that when I spend money in there, it's on things that I need. It's on like my cleansers and my moisturizers, my hair products. And then when I get the Ulta bucks, I take them and I spend them on something I want, like a fragrance. So there you go. But these programs, Sephora, you got to watch them all. They think they're slick, but they're not. These programs are not set up for you to win. Now, the last cheapism, the last thing that I do to save money is I utilize sites like Poshmark and different sites like that. And not only for buying, but buying and selling, because we all have something in our closet that we've looked at and said, that's so nice. Why have I not worn that? And if you're looking over it, there's somebody out there who would love to have it. They would love to buy it from you. So take those things out of your closet, get rid of them, get some money for them, take them to consignment or put them on Poshmark, and get some money so you can go out and get something that you are actually going to wear or that you're actually going to utilize. Poshmark is great for fragrances. They are, now a tiny secret about Poshmark. When you're searching for fragrances, like say for instance, you search Bond Number 9. Oftentimes it doesn't put up all the Bond Number 9 fragrances. So you have to be more specific sometimes. Sometimes I found you have to spell things phonetically. Sometimes I just search Bond and a bunch of different Bond Number 9s will pop up. So I search Eau de Parfum. I search niche fragrances. Every time you're going to get something different. It's so weird, but sometimes you will find some gems on Poshmark like that. It's just however the person lists them. So those are some of the queen's cheap-isms. And if you have any cheap-isms, leave them in the comment section below, because I'm always looking for a new way to save a buck or two. So thank you so much for watching me today. Until I see you again, be blessed and bye for now.